Hi, Karen from Quantum Heart Awakening. This is a twin flame support reading. Okay, so we have the masculine on the left, the feminines on the right, and the union energies down the center. I've tried to record this video several times, starting with the masculine, and it doesn't flow. So right now I'm going to start with the feminines. Okay, feminine energy in the primary position, we have mending and chop wood. And I don't know if you guys have been following, but the masculine received the chop wood card several times. And that was because masculine energies have been concerning themselves with building a firm foundation and evaluating what is a firm foundation. What would that mean to them? What type of foundation would support them at this stage of the journey? And so the message I'm getting is that feminines are healing their inner masculines right now. They're learning to take care of 3D matters. And what's hilarious is I'm getting two conflicting messages. So, okay, just to remind us, divine feminine messages have been so clear. Rest, relax, take space, do not take on more work. It's not a time of creation. This is a time of taking stock, taking inventory of our lives. And although they're healing their inner masculine, it doesn't say anything about, I'm not getting anything about actually taking action. In fact, we have the daydream card. Imagination, allow your mind to wander in this sacred quiet time that you give for yourself. I just got the message now that our version of chop wood, carry water is actually wake up, breathe, take care of self, breathe some more, drink the water, eat nourishing food, consume nourishing information, maybe lay off the news, maybe lay off of social media for a while, maintaining and investing our time in relationships that enhance our health, our mental health and wellness. There are, I would say, about 5 or 6 impressions for the feminine dealing with self-worth. This theme of worthiness keeps coming up for feminines. I mean, that is the divine feminine biggest karmic lesson, right? To learn that we are not only allowed to take up space, but it is our birthright. It is our excuse me, we're not able to step into soul mission without taking up space, without speaking our truth and expressing our deepest awareness, our deepest, our most expanded consciousness. These are high priestess energies. We are downloading self-love to a level where we will have crystal clear vision pouring into us without blockage, without any obstacles. And for that divine wisdom to come through the crown and sink down through the chakras and be able to come out the 5th chakra, the throat chakra, and speak from that place and be able to, to be able to command our spirit from that place. This is what we are being called to do. This is an interesting message. We're also releasing... Ooh, this is a heavy message. Hold on. Okay, so often on this, any sort of soulmate cycle journey, relationship journey, oftentimes we are healing our patterns, our relationship patterns. And we tend to attract, and I say this with such compassion and such empathy because I'm also included in this. We often attract an external masculine that matches our internal masculine in some shape or form. And our internal masculine is shaped and formed by the men in our lives, right? Our father figures or brothers or men we grew up with, whatever that looks like. And so what I'm seeing here is that another part of this chopping wood, carry water, day-to-day cleanup is actually, sorry, I'm getting like 5 threads, actually nipping our toxic inner masculine ways in the bud. We are cauterizing the unhealthy parts of our inner masculines and taking responsibility for our internal relationship with our masculine. Excuse me. We are taking responsibility as our internal feminines with our internal masculines. We are releasing the lower self. For instance, let me ground this in 3D because this all feels very floaty. So I'm trying to think of an example. So I grew up in a family where I grew up in a big Italian family, and I was the youngest girl. And it was an unspoken thing that the kind of women sort of served the men. This was just, it's a cultural thing, and it was within my household, and the men would be like watching football and the women would be in the kitchen cooking. Now that's a very old school mentality, and I'm not saying anything about that. However, something I picked up early on was I learned as a very young child that I associated power with masculine energies. And so slowly but surely, as I went through adolescence and into adulthood, my inner masculine started treating my inner feminine like a tyrant, because the masculine felt entitled to that level of power and that level of control over what goes on. And it wasn't until, and let me be vulnerable about this, my relationships with men outside of myself tended to mirror that. I have, come into contact with different men who felt that they could have that power over me. So does that make a little bit more sense about the mirroring thing that can happen? So once I was able to name and identify that my inner masculine was being a tyrant over my feminine, once I could name it, I could actually catch it in the act and dismantle that moment, and then give support to my feminine, who was desperately craving some airtime, desperately craving a safe internal space to speak her truth. I don't even mean to the outside world. I just mean within myself. It was almost like I had this mini internalized patriarchal ecosystem happening inside of myself, let alone all the externalized patriarchal stuff that was going on, which I'm sure solidified that toxic pattern, right? So divine feminine energies are releasing this lower masculine self. They are reclaiming space. They are reclaiming their truth. They are realizing that they don't need anything outside of self to step into this companionship with spirit. I'm actually just realizing yesterday in the collective reading, we also got a companionship card. Okay, this companionship card, I just have to read it. It says, giving someone your complete presence is an astonishing gift. To be able to call our spirit back from the past into the present, and also call our spirit back from worrying in the future, and to really truly allow yourself to meet the mystery of the present moment as an empty vessel, is giving yourself and giving the universe full consent to unlock the mystery, to say, yes, I am open to receive what is here. This is an extraordinary gift that we are incredibly worthy of. There's a wild and impetuous uniqueness to you that deserves to be honored. What is that? What is coming to mind? Which part of your body is lighting up right now? I felt it in my chest. Okay. Is that it for feminines? Yes. The only other note I'll say about feminine energy, there's something here about the importance of taking care of the vessel, specifically about the body's health. So nutritionally, physically, and part of that caretaking of the body is also evaluating what relationships we want to keep in our lives. What's that quote that they say? You are the sum of the 5 people you hang out with the most, or whatever that quote is. I'm sure you've heard that. That is so true. And so when I said that, who are the 5 people that are around you the most? Now, how does their energy affect you on a daily? Or is it when you think about each individual relationship, is it net positive or is it the opposite? Is it gifting you with something or is it taking something from you? It's time to get really I don't want to say strict, but that's the word that's coming to mind. It's time to get aggressive and assertive with holding these boundaries around people that no longer serve your current mission in the present moment, and release these people with grace and love and ease. Okay. Okay, let's move to the masculine energy. So when we left off, I think I already mentioned it. I'm not sure which video I mentioned in, but masculines have been working on building a firm foundation and more specifically evaluating what a firm foundation means to them at this point in the journey. They are at a place where they're finally able to co-create with spirit. They are also being humbled because all that glitters is not gold. And I think they're getting knocked down a few pegs because something is being illuminated to them about the path that they've been on and how it may not or may no longer be in alignment with where they want to go and who they want to be with and how they want to feel. Okay. Yeah, we have the right now cards. Stay in the present and don't get too far ahead of the flow. You'll soon trust that nothing more will come than can be handled in each moment. This is interesting because the feminines are healing a part of the inner masculine, but the masculines are healing a part of the inner feminine. Masculines are I don't know which message I want to say first. Masculines are finally realizing and allowing their self-esteem is allowing themselves to actually believe, even if it's just a fraction, that they really are a chosen one, that they have been chosen to walk or travel this fast track to ascension. And in doing that, in having that massive, massive shift from their normal 3D realm of comfort and confidence to now all of a sudden they're being fast tracked to the realm of spirit. It's very disorienting, and it's so disorienting to the ego that they actually are being forced to surrender to the flow. And when I think flow, I think feminine energy and feminine receptivity of the ever unfurling present moment. So it's just interesting to me that we're having this mirroring going on, right? We are clearing up because what we have stuck in one energy is also going to benefit the other energy. So if I'm healing a part of my inner masculine, it's also going to help me heal the part of my external masculine and vice versa. Yeah. Divine masculines are being called to come into a deeper relationship with this cosmic intelligence, which is allowing them to tap into this divine creativity, but they're not used to this. This is like awkward and wonky and wobbly, and it's something where they have to again evaluate what is a firm foundation now. Maybe when they were in their peak masculine, a firm foundation looked like one thing, but now that they're actually entering the realm of spirit, they can't use their old tricks and their old tools. Those things aren't going to work in the realm of spirit. I actually wrote a post the other day on my, I don't know where it was, but I said that, and this kind of, I think this kind of triggered some people, but it's really not that bad. Well, you tell me. I said the divine feminine and the divine masculine actually have the exact same job. Both energies are called to protect, provide, and profess their love, except the main difference is only the location. Divine feminines do this in 5D in the realm of spirit. Divine masculines do this in 3D in the realm of matter. And while although the job is exactly the same, the tasks are exactly the same, what that looks like in these different realms, in these different environments, is completely different. So though that's where we can come into relationship with the differences. But really, when you boil down to the work, the tasks are exactly the same: to protect, to provide, and to profess love. Right? Feminines protect the masculines in 5D. Masculines protect the feminines in 3D. And this is interesting when you start thinking about external people versus our internal parts. So for instance, my internal masculine protects me, provides for me, and professes his love for me in 3D. That's my internal masculine's responsibility. And that's also my external masculine's responsibility. Do you see how these things, like, we have to start flexing our consciousness muscles to keep ourselves accountable for our internal world and our external world? And it is so easy. And I have so much empathy and compassion for how much louder the external world is, especially if you've met who you perceive to be your twin flame, or if you have an external masculine or feminine that you're, moving through these cycles with. It's so polarizing, and it's so intense, and it's so magnetic, and also the repulsion of that magnetism is really intense when the polarities switch in that way. Okay. Let me see if there's anything else for divine masculine. Yeah, there's also, I don't know if I already said this, forgive me if I did. There's this mother healing piece, and this has been coming up in the divine masculine, I'm going to call it lineage or narrative, for a very long time. They are healing a mother wound. Now, this could be their own mother. This could be an ancestral, the mother line, the matriarchal line. This could be the mother of their children, if that's something that applies. There is something that is alchemizing on a deeper level. They are transmuting whatever this block is so that they can expand the landscape of their interior castle. Yeah, by doing this, they will be able to step into the conception of something else. This could be a child, this could be a project, this could be of a new relationship. Yeah, take it how it resonates. Okay, union energies. Let's dive into that. Wait, do I want to do the unconscious first? No, I'll do that at the end. Okay. So in the primary position, we have New Life in reverse. We have TikTok and Between Worlds. That Between Worlds card is such a twin flame card to me. It's just, we're always teetering between our internal. So think about it, like your internal feminine and your internal masculine. It's like you have two parts of yourself who have lived an entire life, and each side of self is learning to integrate and transmute their version. And then on top of that, we then have to come together and then confront the mirrored reflection of our internal and external worlds. So this is so profoundly layered and takes such presence and care to really separate these different things. You know what the visual I just got was, if you've ever separated like tissue paper, when it's all stuck together, these very fine pieces, and you have to be careful when you separate them. You can't do it too fast because you'll rip them and it'll ruin it. I just had that very fine, delicate work. Okay, so when I get the TikTok card, it's usually like an urgency thing. However, I'm not perceiving that right now. I'm drawn to, I don't know if you could see all the way from here, but the card has, I'm looking at it now. It has like chunks of the watch kind of flaked off, almost like like the back of it broke off or something. And there's some numbers floating in the air. But what's interesting about the numbers is that, so a clock goes up to 12. The numbers are like 14, 15, 13. I find that incredibly interesting. So what that's telling me is that this new life, this new integrated divine union life that we're all striving for, that we're all working so diligently to purify these frequencies and anchor these new relationship paradigms, this is going to all take place. I don't know how else to say it other than outside of time. That's kind of a quirky concept, but I could, because I'm not getting an actual I'm not getting clarity on what that actually looks like. And maybe it'll come later in the reading. But yeah, something about that, the way we are going to anchor these new, oh wait, I think I'm getting it. I just moved on because the whole second row is about angels, divine assistance, what does that say? Humility. We have another humility card. That's interesting. Uh, Grounding this higher wisdom, teachers, guides, guardians, guidance, support. I think that the way we are going to be able to align these worlds, to blend these worlds, that this work is going to happen in 5D. There's an alchemy happening that is out, I would dare to say, outside of our control. And our job is to take always self inventory, take accountability of what's on our side of the street, to ground, to shield ourselves from these, this is kind of a funny way to say it, but these shrapnels that may or may not come at us from this sort of, I don't, let me find a better way to, I'm going to say it, from the battle between 5D and 3D. It's almost like, okay, now I'm getting a different message. You know, when a rocket ship is coming back, or a shuttle that took off and was in space, and now they're coming back and re-entering the atmosphere. When they come back into the atmosphere, chunks of their shuttle fly off, right? The pressure of re-entry is so profound and so intense on the vessel that it can't hold up. And so there's something here about protecting ourselves from this cosmic shrapnel that may break off and enter into our psyche. So again, ground yourself, do whatever shielding works for you. There's a million different things you can do. I won't go into them now. And also surrender to the emotional rigmarole that may unfold as this process is happening. Try not to hold on to any one piece too long. We have another card of staying grounded. We also have the false twin flame and intense change card. So yeah, this is a very specific message for a chunk of you here that, and I have so much compassion before I say this, I just have so much love for how intense this journey is. And something that I learned really on was to always allow a contingency perspective, to always keep one pinky toe on the ground with this twin flame work, especially if you do have an external human that you have met that has ignited this journey in you. It's so easy to attach this entire journey to this one person, but it is never, ever, ever about the one person. It is about what they are mirroring to you and what you get to come into deeper relationship with that reflection and allow it to inform your self-awareness so that you can come deeper into your truth, but also create beautiful, sacred, radical boundaries around what allows you to maintain this certain high frequency. We have the Queen and the Divine Feminine. So there's both energies are grounding this exalted feminine energy. Both feminines, internal and external, are taking their seat on the throne. They are no longer, I don't know if you could see on this card, but there's like chess pieces. They're no longer have to play these games and be strategic to protect themselves. The throne, the frequency protects themselves. It's like this invisible shield that anything lower than the frequency of the throne, nothing will penetrate their lives. Nothing will rattle their cage. Their only job is to do what they have to do to maintain the vessel and to maintain their throne energy, if that makes sense. So again, this is very cosmic stimulating. I don't know if you could see here as well. This flow of energy, this is how energy moves through us, right? It comes up through the root and out through the crown. And sometimes it goes the other way. But we are in this massive purging, this massive, and you know what's funny? If you look at it, doesn't it almost look like either like an ovum splitting into two eggs? Yeah, there's something about each energy is coming into even deeper sovereignty. Again, surrendering what no longer serves, surrendering to the chaos, acknowledging it as divine safety. I honor how intense surrender is. Sometimes learning to surrender can feel as if you're dying. The ego learns what's hardest, which is to stop trying to control the whole universe. And if you meet that moment and you experience grief, allow the tears to come because they are cleansing your path for what's to come. I want to talk briefly about the unconscious. We have regeneration in the unconscious. We have the solar plexus chakra, personal power, and our path. So again, we got this in, I believe, yesterday's reading. I honor how extraordinary this path is, and it's very easy to fall off the wagon. It's very easy for our faith to be shaken. It's very easy not to believe in our own worthiness, that we're actually deserving to anchor these profound relationship paradigms and new ways of relating on the planet. It's hard to believe that we were chosen, but we were, and here we are. And you wouldn't be here still listening to me if you weren't called to some fraction of this path. We also have yeah. Hold on, let me grab it. I'm just laughing because this says the journey. Thus one journeys to the stars, but I'm really looking at this pig with wings in the corner. And yeah, I'm calling out the parts of self that said, yeah, sure, maybe when pigs fly. Right? That's the message I'm getting, to really call yourself out of where you are not in full belief and full trust in the universe. Wherever those fractured points are, it's time to drop into deeper presence and give all of your love and light to that moment and illuminate why it's showing up and maybe what it's blocking. And then we have each evolutionary turn requires you to give up who you think you are. Yes, 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 yes. There's that great, dropping cards. There's that great Carolyn Mace quote that's something about we have to let go of the life we thought we were supposed to have so that we can receive the life that's trying to make its way through our consciousness. At some point, we need to get out of the way and empty the vessel so that something new can come in. Okay, I think that's it. Let's just get one animal apothecary. We have Get Out of Your Head. Yep. And also this card is, I don't know if you could see, but there's a cock standing on a brain. And to me, it's also like it's basically like, sorry, I'm trying to find the words. Basically, don't let your internal masculine run the show. Don't forget, the feminine are the gatekeepers to divine wisdom. We get the information first, and then we give orders to our internal masculine, and the masculine goes and creates and builds the vision that we had based off of this divine wisdom. All right, I think I'm going to leave it there. That felt like an exhausting reading, and I don't really know why, but there it is. All right, sending you all a lot of love. Thank you.